Black just played. King e7. Pause the video and try to find white's next move. King e5. King d7. King f6. White is preparing to play. King f7. King c8. King e7. King b8. King d7. King a8. King takes e6 and increase their advantage significantly. King e8 move preferred by black. King takes e6. King d8. On d5. White is aiming to play. On takes c6. On takes c6. King d6. King e8. On b7. King f7. King takes c6 and put immense pressure on the opponent. On takes d5 move preferred by black. King takes d5. King d7. King d4. White is preparing to play. King d5. King d8. King d6. King e8. King c7. King f7. King takes b7. King e6. King takes a6 and dominate the board. King e6 was chosen by black. On c6. White is setting up to play. Pawn takes b7 and increase their advantage significantly. On takes c6 played by black. On b7. White is looking to play. King c5. King f6. On promotes to queen at b8 and increase their advantage significantly. King f6 move preferred by black. On promotes to queen at b8. King g5. Black has no response. Let's go to the next game. White just played. King d3. Pause the video and try to predict black's next move. King d5. On b5. King c5. King e4. White is setting up to play. King takes e5 and establish a winning position. King takes b5 move preferred by black. King f5. King c4. King takes e5. King d3. King f5. King e3. King takes g5. King takes f3. King g6. King g3. Black is planning to play. King takes h3. King takes g7. King takes g4 and put immense pressure on the opponent. King takes g7 move preferred by white. On f3. King f6. On f2. On h4. On promotes to queen at f1 check. King e5. Black is dominating the board. Let's go to the next game. Black played. King f6. Pause the video to spot white's next move. Black wants to play. King takes f5 and gain a significant edge. King f4 played by white. On h4. Black is setting up to play. On h3. King takes g4. On h2. King f4. On promotes to queen at h1 and increase their advantage significantly. On takes h4 move preferred by white. On g3. Black might go for. On g2. King e4. On promotes to queen at g1 and seize the initiative. King takes g3 played by white. King takes f5. King f3. King e5. On h5. King f5. On h6. White wants to play. On h7. King f6. On promotes to queen at h8 check and increase their advantage significantly. King f6 was chosen by black. On h7. White is aiming to play. Pawn promotes to queen at h8 check and dominate the board. King g7 was chosen by black. King e4. White considers playing. pawn promotes to queen at h8 check and gain a significant edge. King takes h7 played by black. King d5. King g6. King takes c5. King g5. King b6. King f4. King takes a 6. King e5. White has a strong upper hand. Let's go to the next game. White played King e2. Pause the video to spot black's next move. King e4. King f2. King d3. King f3. King takes c3. King takes f4. King takes b4. On g4. Pawn takes g3. King takes g3. King c3. On h4. On b4. On h5. On b3. On h6. On b2. On h7. On promotes to queen at b1. Black considers playing queen takes h7 and gain a significant edge. Pawn promotes to queen at h8 played by white. Queen g1 check. King f3. Queen takes d4. Queen b8. Black is clearly ahead. Let's go to the next game. White played King d3. Pause the video and try to predict black's next move. King c5. King d2. King c4. King c2. On d4. Black is preparing to play pawn takes c3 and gain a significant edge. Pawn takes d4 played by white. King takes d4. King d2. King c4. King e3. King b4. King d4. King takes a 4. King c4. King a3. Black might go for King a4. King d3. King takes b5 and increase their advantage significantly. King d5 was chosen by white. On a4. King e5. King b4. King f6. On a3. King takes g5. On a2. King takes h4. On promotes to queen at a1. Black is planning to play queen h8 check. King g5. Queen takes h3. King f4. Queen f1 check. King g5. Queen takes b5 check and establish a winning position. King g5. Black has a strong upper hand. Let's go to the next game. White played Bishop f3. Pause the video and try to find black's next move. White considers playing Bishop takes g4. Pawn takes g4. King takes g4 and gain a significant edge. Bishop takes f3 played by black. King takes f3. King f5. King e3. King g4. King d3. King takes h4. King c4. King g4. On the 5. White wants to play pawn takes b6 and dominate the board. Pawn takes a 5 move preferred by black. King takes c5. King f4. King b6. King e5. King takes a 5. On h4. Black might go for pawn h3. King b5. King d4. King c6. King c3. King c5. King takes b3 and establish a winning position. King b5 was chosen by white. King d5. Black is setting up to play pawn h3. King b6. Pawn h2. King c7. King c5 and secure a stronghold in the game. King b4 played by white. On h3. King b5. King d4. Black is aiming to play King d5. King b6. Pawn h2. King c7. King c5 and increase their advantage significantly. King c6 was chosen by white. King c3. Black considers playing King takes b3 and increase their advantage significantly. King d5 was chosen by white. King takes b3. King e4. White has no response. Let's go to the next game. White just played. King d3. Pause the video to figure out black's next move. King c5. On h3. On h6. King e3. King c4. Black intends to play king takes c3 and increase their advantage significantly. King d2 was chosen by white. King b3. King d3. King takes a4. On c4. On takes c4 check. King takes c4. King a3. Black wants to play king a4. King d5. King takes b5 and gain a significant edge. King c3 move preferred by white. On a4. On h4. On h5. Black is aiming to play king a2. King c2. On a3. King c1. King b3. King b1. King c4. King a2. King b4, and establish a winning position. King c2 move preferred by white. King b4. King d3. King b3. King e4. King c4. King f5. On a3. King f6. On a2. King g5. On promotes to queen at a1. King takes h5. White is struggling to keep up. Let's go to the next game. Black played king d5. Pause the video to analyze white's next move. King d3. King d6. On c4. White's idea is to play pawn takes b5 and seize the initiative. On b4 move preferred by black. On takes b4. King d7. King c2. King e7. King b1. King d8. King a2. White is setting up to play king a3. King c8. On b5. King c7. On d5. King d6. On b6, and put immense pressure on the opponent. King d7 played by black. On d5. King c8. King a3. White might go for on b5. King b8. On d6. King b7. King takes a4 and gain a significant edge. King d7 played by black. On b5. White is preparing to play on b6. King d8. King takes a4 and increase their advantage significantly. King c7 move preferred by black. On c5. White wants to play on d6 check. King d7. King takes a4 and take decisive advantage. King b7 played by black. On d6. White might go for on c6 check. King c8. King takes a4 and seize the initiative. King b8 played by black. On d7. White is setting up to play on promotes to queen at d8 check. King b7. On c6 check. King a7. Queen c7 check. King a8. Queen b7 mate and dominate the board. King c7 was chosen by black. On c6. King d8. On b6. King e7. On b7. White is preparing to play on promotes to queen at b8. King f7. On promotes to queen at d8. King g6. Queen h8. King f7. Queen be8 mate and gain a significant edge. King e6 move preferred by black. On promotes to rook at d8. King f7. White is in a commanding position. Let's go to the next game. White made a move. King g3. Pause the video to figure out black's next move. White might go for king takes g4 and put immense pressure on the opponent. King f5 was chosen by black. King h4. White is preparing to play. On g3. On a4. King h5 and put immense pressure on the opponent. King takes f4 played by black. King h5. On a4. King h4. King e3. King takes g4. King d3. King f4. King takes c3. On g4. On b4. Black's idea is to play pawn takes a3 and establish a winning position. On g5 played by white. On b3. On g6. On b2. On g7. On promotes to queen at b1. Black intends to play queen g6. On promotes to queen at g8. Queen takes g8 and establish a winning position. On promotes to queen at g8 was chosen by white. Queen e4 check. King g3. Queen e3 check. King g2. Queen takes d4. Queen b8. Queen c4. King g1. On d4. Queen e5. King b3. King f2. Queen c2 check. King f3. Queen c3 check. King f2. Queen e3 check. Queen takes e3 check. On takes e3 check. King takes e3. King takes a3. King d2. Black is in a commanding position. Let's go to the next game. White made a move. King d2. Pause the video to spot black's next move. King c4. King d1. King c3. Black might go for King b2. King d2. King takes a3 and take decisive advantage. King c1 move preferred by white. On d5. King d1. King b2. King d2. King takes a3. On c4. King b3. Black intends to play king takes c4 and put immense pressure on the opponent. On takes b5 was chosen by white. On a3. On b6. On a2. On b7. On promotes to queen at a1. Black is aiming to play queen a7. On b5. Queen takes b7 and increase their advantage significantly. On promotes to queen at b8 played by white. Queen c3 check. King e2. Queen d3 check. King f2. Queen d2 check. King f1. Queen d1 check. King g2. Queen takes g4 check. King h2. Queen e2 check. King h3. Queen takes e3 check. King g4. Queen f3 check. King takes g5. On e3. Queen e5. On e2. Black is preparing to play queen e4. Queen g3 check. King c4. Queen e1. Queen g2 check. King h5. Queen f1 and increase their advantage significantly. On b5 was chosen by white. Queen g2 check. King f6. Queen f2 check. King e6. On promotes to queen at e1. Black intends to play queen takes e5 check. On takes e5. King c4. King e7. Queen c5 check. King f7. On d4. King f6. Queen b6 check and secure a stronghold in the game. Queen takes e1 played by white. Queen takes e1 check. King takes d5. White's loss is confirmed. Let's go to the next game.